Antonio, a current industrial design student, is determined to improve the world in which we all live. He recently launched his new screen printing business that will boldly confront issues of culture and race. Hello, my name is Dwight Rhodes. Welcome to Design Art Seminars and Roads to Equity's Emerging Professional Series, where we discuss why young professionals choose architecture and design and how they are reimagining our built environment so our diverse society can not only live together, but thrive together. Our guest today is Antonio Wooten. Stay with us for the next 10 minutes and hear him share his story.
So my name is Antonio Wooten. I'm currently studying industrial design at Jefferson University, East Falls area of Philadelphia. My introduction to the world of design kind of began for me in high school. I was exposed to graphic design through some media classes that I took. And that kind of led me down a path to explore clothing then and print T-shirts and do a lot of things within that realm. And then furthermore, I had the opportunity through mutual friends to know that the world of product design existed and that it was something that kind of allowed me to work both in the realm of 2D or digital media and also physical, which is heavily inspired by like seeing some of the projects some of my friends are working on at the time while they were in school, and also through a project I got to work on funded by my high school's alumni foundation, where they basically charged myself and a few other students to create these to scale size cutout figures that you would take photos with, like an event and whatnot. And we're basically in charge of finding the materials, putting it all together, executing the project. So it was really cool. I was kind of put in a position of management, but also seeing what was just these sketches or ideas that we have to fruition. And furthermore, inspired me to understand like the ability I had to work with my hands and just the value of coming into the world of industrial design.
I heard you say that your friends were doing this sort of work, and then you had that opportunity. But what actually, other than your friends, like what was there something intrinsic inside of you that bubbled up in terms of interest when you heard about this, or you saw your other friends engaging in sort of design work?
Yeah, so I think it started at a young age for sure. I've always been one to draw pictures or sketch. My mom is in the world of construction, so I knew that that was like something looming or out there as a possibility, but I wasn't heavily exposed to design in a formal nature, I would say, until later years in high school. But I've always like looked at things with a critical eye. Even simple things as to like how you experience retail in a store. I've always talked to people about like how my greatest retail experiences have been in stores where they have limited options because I get very overwhelmed by having too many options. So I'm walking into spaces thinking about how things could be reimagined or made better for consumers or just human beings.
So, what are some of the things that you're seeing that's exciting to you? Some of the current trends.
One, to kind of highlight where I found my place of belonging or being in this space is that um, there aren't a lot. I mean, it's weird to say it's been my place of belonging, but also a place of discomfort at the same time. That there aren't a lot of people that look like me doing the work of industrial design, but that I've got a chance to meet or come across. So I think that's very exciting for me as a person of color to understand how much I matter to pushing things forward in terms of design, but also in terms of consideration for the non-majority, right? That it isn't there are more than this is an industry dominated by white males and more than those people consuming, right? Or who buy these products that people create or experience that people create. So it becomes of high importance that not only that obviously are represented among the consumers, but also that we're represented among the people creating. So yeah, that's been something I think about a lot. It's like, how do I bring social and cultural competency into this space? And I think one thing that social media has actually done in terms of just even calling out corporations or people even is that is being recognized the importance of these spaces reflecting our personal interest, but also a greater interest in the people that we serve. So I think that that's exciting for me to see that it's a part of the conversation now. One other Black student in my year, in less than 10 across the whole major, had conversations with him specifically just about like how valuable of an asset would I be to my community, say if I not only knew how to design a shoe, but how to manufacture it too. That it's not just you have to buy this product from one entity or one larger entity, that you also have the ability to make for yourself. So I think that that's something, as I've rambled on about, that is really exciting to see come to fruition or come to light in this space, in this world of industrial design.
I'm really interested to have you talk and tell our audience about the types of things that you want to do and that you see happening in your field.
One of the things that interests me in terms of my design work or where I want to go is actually consistently addressing culture and race in my work. That not that everything that I design is a Black thing, right? But that like it will reflect my interests, whether that be hip hop or streetwear or food or so on and so forth. All the things you consider to be culture. There have been moments, well, even in my program where I experienced pushback or what felt like places and spaces where I didn't feel safe, or it was a reminder almost of how different I was to the surrounding environment. And it makes it important that I bring these things out and talk about them and even challenge the environment around me. So I think that in my design work, one of the things that I'm really eager to do is introduce more people like myself to this world of design. Like I would love to one day be an advocate for bringing people into this discipline. I actually just started doing a screen printing business about a week or two ago.
One, congratulations for launching a new endeavor. That's super exciting.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking about like, what advice would you have for someone a high school student who may be thinking about going into design?
Do it, number one, and recognize that your work can function as a form of resistance. I think that that's actually something that even highlights where we cross paths at the Black in Design Conference, to hear the speaker D. Ray Mckison speak about how we have this responsibility not only to design cool stuff, but also design the world that we want to live in, right? That like when you go to work every day, even the simple notion of you wearing your natural hair may cause question or concern, or may make you have to deal with more than the average person, but it's also a moment of recognition and expression of your being valuable in this space, but also like your difference is beautiful, not substandard, right? So I think that that's something that I would tell somebody who's looking to step into the space. They don't think that because this is a world dominated by white males, or that it's not, driven by people that are like you, maybe in comparison to like a world of social work or psychology, where you see a lot more Black people end up in attempts to help people. This is also a space and place where we can help push the envelope, and also bring forward the issues and concerns of our own community or of our people. So I guess just like walk into space knowing that you matter and you have value here, and with a consciousness that your ability to make change doesn't just look like what you post online, right? Or, that you're a social media activist, or that you go to a certain amount of rallies every year. It's in your everyday life, right? So I think that's kind of where I stand as far as what I would tell somebody looking to come to the space.
I think that's really great advice. And I'm wondering, what advice would you have for the 15-year-old Antonio?
I would tell myself to trust in my abilities to do, but that that what you produce is good, and that it's also serving something greater than yourself. How do I create that space that, one, I don't want to live in, but that I'd want to raise children, or that I want my younger siblings to grow up in, or that I want to be an elderly person, right? Like you're working on projects to design new orthopedic shoes, just like things that that matter to the human experience, but also the future that I will want to be a part of.
Antonio, that is our time for today. Thank you so much for your brilliant insight, and look forward to hearing and seeing more from you in the future, especially with your new business.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And thank you for taking time out and picking my brains, because these conversations help me to think even more about what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it. 'Cause I think sometimes you can get busy to the point of losing focus. So I appreciate the questions and